और हम अब इस मुहिम को आगे बढ़ाएं। बहुत सारे खास मेहमान अब मंच पर हमारे साथ जुड़ चुके हैं। इंदिरा चक्रवर्ती हैं, पब्लिक हेल्थ एंड एनवायरनमेंट एक्सपर्ट, पद्मश्री अवार्डी हैं। साई दामोदरन, फाउंडर ग्रामालय, पद्मश्री अवार्डी, और गौतम ऋषि, मार्केटिंग डायरेक्टर, हाइजीन रैकेट। आप सभी लोगों का बहुत शुक्रिया इस मुहिम से जुड़ने के लिए। और इंदिरा जी, आप तो इस मुहिम से शुरुआत से ही जुड़ी रही हैं, बदलाव जमीन पर आपने क्या देखा है?
I think I've been with this program for day one. So it's 12th year, 1 dozen years, which itself indicates the success of the program. 12 साल हो गया तो the program is going strong, going from strength to strength, reaching millions of people, children, women, population in general, most importantly vulnerable communities. So I think that is one of the main success stories of this program. Coming to women, I think it has been, if you talk, it is not just sanitation. जो किया है sanitation, water, hygiene, most importantly. We जिसको विकसित भारत तक ले जाते हैं. This is exactly the motivation of Viksit Bharat, what we've been doing. And in 12 years, we found the escalation of the whole program. The number of people being touched upon by this program. And if you look into these issues, if you look at toilets, if you say it gives dignity to women, it gives health to women. Because earlier women couldn't go to toilet any time of the day, so that gives a huge health impact to the women. It reduces anemia in women because worm infestation will go down because of open defecation band ho jate hai. It gives a lot of other benefits which you don't realize. It actually, if you have women's menstrual hygiene health properly done because of sanitation and water, AIDS का incidence कम हो रहे हैं, urinary tract infections कम होगा, reproductive tract infections कम होगा, childbirth will become easier. So a horde of impacts which come जो gradually आते हैं. And I think that's the reason the escalation is happening, because women understand that these diseases are coming down. बच्चे को क्या होता है, birth weight increase करेंगे because infections are less. Under 5 mortality will decrease, that's very well. School going improves. Mental health improves. If a child is not sick, he's more stable, happy at home. And a happy child always will make it a happy family. If a child is happy, the parents are happy. Right. Everybody is happy. I think that's one of the main things. I think the most important thing that I would like to say here is that for the Dettol Banega Swasth India program, just a small story, the monitoring has been excellent. Vulnerable population touching up, especially Ashwanji, the ones that is very far-fetched, people can't reach. If I can just say 5 seconds a story, they were doing a project in Maharashtra years back, very difficult to reach. Takes hours to go, no road, very rugged soil. So it was a project and they implemented it. But I think Ravi Bhatnagar is not here. He got a little suspicious of whether the project was going on well or not. I'm not giving the name of the organization or the area. So he drove down in his motorbike, which took hours, and he said that most of the time he was not sitting on the bike but pushing the bike. The road was so bad. And he went there and he found that it was not being done properly, not being done very badly. So I remember I was at that time the chairman of the steering committee. At midnight he called me at about 2:30 in the morning and told me, ma'am, I'm stopping the project. Right that same night. Yes, the monitoring part, absolutely. Absolutely, vulnerable populations being touched is very difficult, and this was being done by this project, monitoring.
You have been working in the sanitation sector for nearly 3 decades. In fact, जो पहला ODFP हुआ था 2002 में village में, वो अभी you played a very integral part way back then. Now, 2 decades later, where are we?
Yeah. हम ये समझना चाहते हैं कि जमीन पर क्या बदलाव आया जो अपने दर्शकों को समझा पाए।
Absolutely. Yes, we have well achieved our targets, as well as we have made rapid transformation in the sanitation scenario in India. In fact, in 2014, if you could see the toilet status in India, it was only 39% coverage. But after the introduction of Swachh Bharat Mission program, in 2019, we could able to reach 87% of toilet coverage in India. 12 crores households have been provided with individual household toilet facilities. And 6 lakh villages have become open defecation free. As a part of Swachh Bharat Mission program, ODF plus introduced in 2020, and wherein 5.64 lakh villages become ODF plus, maintaining the environmental sanitation of the villages, improving the solid and liquid waste management. So that is the achievement under our program. So we want to be the change and join the movement. Hashtag I am the change. Jai Hind.
बिल्कुल। गौतम, ये बताइए कि हार्पिक जो एक कैटेगरी लीडर है, आपको क्यों लगा कि एक पर्पस ड्रिवन इनिशिएटिव आप लोग लें ताकि जो सैनिटेशन है, हाइजीन, उस पर ग्राउंड पर काम हो पाए? क्यों ज़रूरी लगा कि आपको इस मकसद पर आगे बढ़ना है?
जी, इससे पहले मैं हार्पिक की बात करूँ, आई थिंक आई विल टॉक अबाउट रेकेट्स फिलॉसफी।
राइट।
So Viksit फिलॉसफी हैज बीन ऑलवेज अबाउट मेकिंग एन इम्पैक्ट इन पीपल्स लाइफ थ्रू बेटर हाइजीन एंड हेल्थ। तो जब इसकी बात होती है, एक फंडामेंटल फ्रेमवर्क बन जाता है मेरा फिलॉसफी पे, विच इज़ ऑन 3 P's। पहला P होता है आपका प्रोडक्ट्स का और ब्रांड्स का, विच इज़ बेसिक टू एनी बिजनेस। देन इट गोज ऑन टू प्लानट, कि आर वी डूइंग थिंग्स रिस्पॉन्सिबली और कैसे कर रहे हैं, क्या इम्पैक्ट छोड़ रहे हैं प्लानट पे। और प्लानट मतलब अभी हमारे कंटेक्स्ट में कंट्री आ रहा है। और तीसरा आता है पीपल, कि आर वी रियली मेकिंग एन इम्पैक्ट ऑन देयर लाइफ। सो
बिल्कुल।
तो दिस कम्स ऑल टुगेदर, एंड व्हेन इट कम्स टुगेदर 2014 में 10 साल 11-12 साल पहले जो कंट्री ने ये मिशन
गौतम, हम ये बातचीत जारी रखेंगे और हमारा ये अभियान भी जारी है। आज लगातार 4 घंटे आयुष्मान हम देश की जनता तक इस कॉज को पहुंचा रहे हैं। हमारा मकसद भी यही है। 12 साल हो चुके हैं इस बनेगा स्वस्थ इंडिया को, अंबिका। तो हम लौट रहे हैं, कहीं मत जाइए। आयुष्मान यही है, अंबिका यही है और हमारे तमाम मेहमान यही हैं। हम लौट रहे हैं, कहीं मत जाइए।
Welcome back. You're watching the NDTV-Dettol Banega Swasth India campaign season 12 launch. Yes, and we're asking all of you to please be a part of the change. Pledge hashtag I am the change, and I'm going to come to you, Mr. Sai. आप 30 साल से काम कर रहे हैं, आप हमें अपनी जर्नी के बारे में बता रहे थे, लेकिन अभी भी अगर आप हमें संक्षेप में बताएं, what really are the gaps when we talk about Swachh and Swasth Bharat?
Yeah. Though we could able to reach all the households with toilet facilities, usage is still a question when we come to the whole family members, whether they are using actually the toilet and maintain it. So hygiene message through Banega Swasth India program, like school hygiene education program, we could able to reach the children, where the children plays as a role of ambassadors in transforming the hygiene messages. So through hygiene messages and behaviors and practices, through people's movement, we can
तो
able
बदलाव
to
बच्चे ही ला रहे हैं
yeah,
जमीन पर।
बिल्कुल। Through children we can, it's called child to child approach. That is the wonderful approach. We can reach their parents and the community, so that everyone in the households will start using the toilets and prevent open defecation. 100%.
So that's the impact, Ayushman, right? They take it back home and then they teach the family.
गौतम, आप हार्पिक से जुड़े हैं, हार्पिक कैटेगरी लीडर है। आप 3 P's के बारे में बता रहे थे हमें जब ब्रेक पे जाने से पहले। क्या है वो 3 P's?
So 3 P's is the philosophy for Reckitt, right? We start with products which are the brands for us, but उसके बाद फिर हम बात करते हैं कि how does it impact the planet? Are we doing things responsibly or not? Or planet in our context is the country. आज हम अपनी country की बात कर रहे हैं. And the third one is people. How do we really impact their lives? So जब ये 2014 में when India went on a mission on getting open defecation free, हार्पिक के लिए आई थिंक इट वाज वेरी ऑब्वियस टू बी पार्ट ऑफ इट। अब उस टाइम पे ऑफ कोर्स पता नहीं था कि हम क्या क्या करेंगे, बट व्हाट वी न्यू वाज वी हैव टू बी पार्ट ऑफ इट, वी हैव टू मेक अ डिफरेंस देयर। तो उस टाइम ये शुरू हुआ, बट ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम द नेक्स्ट स्टेप वाज टू स्टार्ट नॉर्मलाइजिंग टॉयलेट की बात। टॉयलेट बात करना ही एक टैबू होता था एक टाइम पे, तो नाउ इट डजंट सीम लाइक दैट, बट 10-12 साल पहले इट यूज्ड टू बी लाइक दैट। जब वो होना शुरू हुआ तो हमने कहा व्हाट इज़ द नेक्स्ट स्टेप। तो क्लीन टॉयलेट को एक राइट बनाना वाज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग। इट्स अ फंडामेंटल राइट, इट शुड नॉट बी अ प्रिविलेज। अगेन इट साउंड्स वेरी ऑब्वियस, बट इट्स नॉट दैट ऑब्वियस। तो विच इज़ अगेन अ फिलॉसफी ऑफ द कंपनी दैट making hygiene and health accessible to everybody should be the right, not a privilege for everybody. फिर 2018 में I think the biggest pivotal moment came where we opened the first Harpic World Toilet with the World Toilet Organization, where we said how do we really make an impact beyond. तो sanitation workers के साथ काम करना शुरू किया और उनकी education, उनको उनके rights के बारे में बताना शुरू किया, उनकी health के बारे में बात करनी शुरू की. Because we never talked about them and they were the core and the fundamental of the society.
They really are the pillars and making a difference on ground.
Absolutely. तो उनके बारे में ही हम बात नहीं कर रहे थे, तो उनके साथ जुड़े. Now I think over a period of time 1.8 sanitation workers sanitation workers के साथ हम काम कर चुके हैं उनकी education
In fact,
के
I'm
साथ.
so glad, Mr. Gautam, that you mentioned that, because in some time they're going to be joining us, some of the beneficiaries from the World Toilet College, and we're going to be talking about the new programs. Well, joining us now is Dr. R.A. Mashelkar, former Director General CSIR. Sir, you've chaired 16 high-powered committees to look into diverse national issues, and one of them being Swachh Bharat. Since it's been 11 years, the launch of the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, there's a lot been done. We've seen the progress on ground. But how could we address the gaps that still remain, unfortunately?
Yes, that's an excellent question. You know, when the Honorable Prime Minister announced Swachh Bharat Mission, he was very keen that we get the best technologies on water and sanitation in the country, no matter where they come from. And I was appointed the chairman for the selection committee. And I remember using what is called as an assured framework. Assured is affordable, scalable, sustainable, user-friendly, excellence in terms of technology, rapid, and distinctive, so that there is no sort of copying or something which is very distinctive for our conditions. And I'm very happy that framework has worked very well, and today we are endowed with some of the best technologies. That is part number one. Part number two is that as we move forward, it is not just sanitation, it is so much else that is connected with it. And therefore, we now talk about WASH, where there is a water, air, sanitation, and health. They all go together. I've been the chairman of the committee that Indian Sanitation Coalition, which was conceived by Naina Kidwai and FICCI. We give awards for diverse aspects of the entire movement, because that diverse aspects involves people, involves systems, involves corporates, and so on.
Dr. Mashelkar, when you talk about health, we have to talk about hygiene.
WASH has to be used in these multiple dimensions, in terms of talent, in technology, in terms of trust, in terms of investment, and in terms of awareness. Of course, there is an enormous awareness. But I would still say this is work in progress.
So Dr. Mashelkar, when we talk about health, we have to talk about hygiene. As I said, what role do you think hygiene practices play in preventing diseases, and how can we promote better hygiene habits amongst Indians?
Yeah, I always say that science is important, but behavioral science is more important. Okay, so it has to deal with the behavior and awareness. All right, I had a very interesting story to tell you on how this was. When I started chairing the Swachh Bharat Mission, the technology committee of Swachh Bharat Mission, I found that there was a Magsaysay Award winner who are working in a village, and she told me an interesting story that there were toilets, there was water, but women will not use it. You know why? Because their behavioral science was such that in the morning, a group will come together, and before the sun rises, they will go to sort of a place and do the sort of thing. And the reason they were not using was that was the time when they could have conversations with each other, the social contact, talking about their mother-in-law or son who is not studying or whatever. That was missing. So there was an innovation that was done. I call it Indian innovation, Indovation. That this lady actually got a social scientist, found this out, and she created a semicircular row of toilets, okay, which were open above the waist. What does that mean? That means those ladies can actually see each other, talk to each other, and at the same time use the toilet. Now, this is something unique. I call it innovation. That means that behavioral science you have to understand, basically, and design programs according to the behavioral science. That's the point.
Thank you, Dr. Mashilkar, for joining this campaign, and thank you so much, गौतम, साई एंड इंदिरा जी, आप इस मुहिम से जुड़े, इस कैंपेन से जुड़े, और आप लोगों की प्रतिबद्धता दिखाती कि जब आप लोग मकसद से जुड़े रहेंगे तो तभी बदलाव आएगा। और बहुत शुक्रिया आप लोगों को जुड़ने के लिए।